What's going on, guys? My name is Voss, and if you're new to the channel, thanks so much for stopping by. We got another Tesla video today for you. It's a pretty good one. Before we get started, this video was basically sponsored by ELONBUCKS, and ELONBUCKS is a Tesla company that makes interior kits, exterior kits, accessory pieces, a lot of fantastic stuff. The last video we did with them, they provided us a quick charging system, and it's amazing. It works really well, so highly go check it out. Recommend go checking it out. I'll link it here. They have a discount code called ELONBUCKS. I will link that as well. It gives you $10 off of your order of $100 or more. So today we got another ELONBUCKS product, and this one's pretty cool. So we've got the full center console carbon fiber dash kit. So you've got the front, the center area, and then the cup holder area. This is going to be, I've been waiting for this. I think the piano black on the Model 3 looks good, but it's very prone to fingerprints. It gets dirty really easy, and I feel like it's gonna get scratched up. So ELONBUCKS has sent me this to try on and review, so we're gonna go ahead and installing this. Before we go to install, a couple things you're gonna need is, they do recommend using a squeegee to get to the any bubbles or any imperfections you have. You can peel it back up and squeegee it back. They do provide this, so that's really good of them. We got a rag here with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol rag. You can use a 40% isopropyl alcohol, 60% water mix, or you can just use one of those rags. And then I have a kind of a lint-free cloth to help wipe that down with once we get with the rag, so that it doesn't leave dust or anything on the panels. And lastly, if you were to need it, here is a hair dryer. This should help smooth out the vinyl. I know vinyl can be tough to stretch and maneuver a little bit, so if you need to manipulate it a little bit, this will help. So let's get to it. So all right, first step, let's get our cloth, and so let's just clean these surfaces off. So let me get my phone out of here. So you just really want to get any dirt, debris out, and then once we do that, you want to make sure that I'm going to bring this up just to make it a little bit easier to get to. So let's go ahead and clean all this off. Keep it fingerprintless, and once that happens, we don't need this anymore. Let's get to this. It's cleaning up pretty well, I think, overall. You can already tell we've had this car about 3,000 miles, and if you want to bring the camera in here, the light hits it right, there are a ton of scratches. So already this vinyl, this carbon fiber vinyl kit, it's a pretty thick, it's a 3M product. It should help a lot. It should help keep with the fingerprints, the smudging. So let me get the rest of these dust pieces out, and so let's do that. Alright, so now that your car's prepped, it's time to start applying the vinyl, and we're going to start with the very top of this. Here's the kit, and here's the top piece, the center piece, and the cup holder piece. So we're going to go ahead and start with this top piece. So I'm going to clean off my surface one last time to just ensure there's no dust and stuff. There's a little bit, no big deal. Just don't try not to get bubbles and spotting in your install. So first thing we want to do is let's go ahead and peel this off. And we don't need this for the time being, so I'm going to put this away. And let's just basically, we're going to want to get our squeegee ready and go ahead and line this up. And it's not, you're going to want to make sure that you have the edges lined up and the front edge lined up. And they have these little inserts, so basically, if you look, right here is where you should line up the end right here. If you want to bring the camera down here. And what that'll do is, this piece right here will wrap around. So if I click this up, it'll actually wrap around to this area right here. So basically, let's go ahead and make sure it's clean. So let's start by kind of placing this on here. If it's not perfect the first time, no big deal. You can pull it off and redo it. Just try not to tear the vinyl. It is pretty tough. So it's kind of hard to see. Let me grab a light. It's hard to see what's going on. It is snowing and horrible today in Ohio. This is the first snow we've gotten, a big snow we've gotten, and it's been just atrocious outside. So we're inside trying to get this going. So there's a light, a couple lights there. So basically, what you want to do is get these ends and these bottoms lined up. So let me get on here, and basically, let's go ahead and line it up. And you just want to make sure that these edges, and let's check this side as well, and if it's not good, just go ahead and peel it up and try again. And another thing you can do is push this up just a little bit to make sure it is, and
so there's, that side looks pretty good. Now let's make sure this side is, that side is good. So that looks all right. And now kind of just use your fingers and kind of slowly go back and forth and up. And it's okay if the edges are looking off, no worries for now. Just kind of use your fingers like that. And you can use the squeegee, but for now the fingers are doing a pretty good job. So let's go ahead and finish off. Okay, so overall pretty good. Very little bubbling right now. Nothing too much. So now what I'm going to do now is push this down, and let's actually bring that one back and bring this one up a little bit. And let me grab my squeegee. So what you can do from here is, let's make sure that the bubbling and everything's taken care of. It looks pretty good. So there we go. And let's actually take this guy and just kind of start one way and kind of wrap it down. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. We have a heat gun if this doesn't look the best, so we can actually go like that. And I'm going to take this just a little, distribute this out for now. Overall, it's looking really good so far. So let's get these any bubbles we have. We can get a heat gun to it and get those out later. But so once we do that, go ahead and take the back side and push those down as well. So there's one side. Now let's do the same on this side as well. So go ahead and pull that down as well. And I mean, overall, you know, pretty good install. We got a couple spots here and there that need to be fixed out just a little bit. So let's go ahead and so let's take the, you can use your thumb, you can use your you can kind of lace it up from the side. And you know, just get these bubbles out and work them out like that. But I mean, and if you have a bubble that you don't like, you can always peel this up from the side and just work it back down. But what I'm going to do is, so we got a couple bubbling issues, so let me get the heat gun and we're going to work on that real quick. Alright, so you can use a heat gun if you need to. I actually went ahead and I went without the heat gun. What I did was I'm going to take this flashlight and I kind of just took the squeegee they provided, worked it out. If something gets a little bubbly, no worries. Peel it back up slowly, just try not to rip it. This vinyl is very good quality, and just kind of work the bubbles down and kind of work them in one place and work them out, and then you can wrap. So like if you click that, you can wrap this around. But I mean, overall, this turned out really good. And one thing you want to do is take the squeegee and take the end pieces and kind of just push it in and just make sure that it's really adhered to the sides. And you don't worry, you're not going to hurt anything. It's just you're not going to be doing this all the time. So I mean, overall, I'm visually inspect it, no bubbling, nothing. Take the squeegee, run it down. So the first piece is done, and I mean, that was a very good install. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the centerpiece as well as the cup holder piece, but so far this is turning out really good. Alright, so we just did, bring camera over here for a second. We just did this front one, and it looks really good. It honestly transforms the look of the inside. The piano black doesn't look bad, but now it's not going to be scratch proof. It's going to be a lot better, smudge free. So let's go ahead and install the centerpiece. So I'm going to just peel this one off, and before I do that, you'll see here, there's a little nudge. That nudge is what you want to line up with the end here. So if I press this up, you'll actually see where that will wrap down. So we're going to have to be really careful. This one's going to be rather challenging, and this will wrap down into the sides. So what I want to do is get this one lined up and then move it up. So let me go ahead and peel this off. don't need this for the time being. Put that over there. So let me just quickly wipe this down one last time. Get those fingerprints out. And don't need that either. So it's basically what we want to do is get this one, let's bring the light in, get this one lined up as best we can. Can you bring the light right there? As best we can to the corner. And if it's not good, no worries, just try again. And this vinyl stuff is pretty easy to manipulate and work with. So let's that looks pretty good to me. So let's just kind of make sure these bubbles don't stick in here. And you can peel it up if you need to, and kind of just take the squeegee and work it way back down. So now we kind of have it sitting in place basically the way I'd like it. So now what we want to do is let's go ahead and push this up for now, and let's make sure this bottom piece is going to be wrapped, and let's basically get it into place. See any bubbles, just work them back out. No worries on the bubbling. And just kind of use your finger to loop it around. See some bubbles, take the squeegee if you need to, and work them out to the side. So loop these guys down and then push it through. Alright, so if you want to bring the camera back down, so we actually just got this one done, and it just took a little bit of playing, and you can just take the squeegee, take the edges and really push. Don't be afraid to ruin your trim. You're only going to push it just a hair and just kind of work it through down like that on both sides. And once you do that, you can also push this one down and it'll leave a little bit right here. So take your squeegee and kind of work it down as well. So we'll just work it down there, and then once you do that, you can top it off with the front one as well to really make sure. And now it's opening and closing without any issues. And I mean, just check for bubbling. No, so far no bubbling anywhere. So now that this one's done, let's go ahead and move on to the cup holder area. Alright, so here is the final piece to the center console vinyl kit. It's the cup holders. One thing you want to make sure with this is start with lining the cup holder area to this edge right here, and if you need to use your heat gun to heat it up to manipulate it, you can, and then move it back, because it's crucial that this lines up right or it's going to throw off how it looks here. So let's go ahead and peel this one off, get this one lined up, and get this one applied. So go ahead and just kind of get it lined up. What we're going to want to do is, for the time being, we're going to leave that open. Let's get in here like that, and kind of just replace this one. And real quick, before we get started, just one more time, really wipe it down, ensure nothing's on it. So now let's kind of start with lining these up. And I'm going to start with lining these up over here as well. And let's make sure the cup holder area is good. The rest of it we can get the heat gun to and work back if need be. So for the time being, so there's that. I mean, overall, you know, pull this up if you need to, just a hair. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. Just make sure that it's gonna line up inside like that, because you want it to cover over, because you want it to look seamless. So let's go ahead and do that. Overall, I think that's pretty good. So from here, just start with kind of pressing down where the cup holder part's gonna sit, like that. You know, work this down and get this all lined up properly, and really make sure that it looks as flush as it can be, and you can work it back if you need to. And you know, if we need to get the heat gun out, we can, to kind of manipulate this a little more. No problem at all. So I mean, overall that looks pretty clean to me. Alright, so we used a heat gun, and we were able to get this to kind of line up pretty well. I mean, this is the first time I really didn't play around with it much. What you want to do is, once you get it situated in place, get that heat gun to kind of work it a little bit. Vinyl, the nice thing with vinyl is you can't really screw it up because it does stretch. So we were able to stretch it out to the edges where we needed to, and I mean, bubbling wise, this looks really good. We got a couple things in the front. Take the squeegee and start working the edges. Wrap this down right here and wrap it underneath, kind of. So get that going, you know, and once you do that, make sure that's sitting pretty well. There's a couple bubbling here and there. You can peel it up and kind of work it through. Overall, pretty good. And let's get a couple bubbles here and there out. So let me close this for a second. And what I'm going to do is take my squeegee and take these bubbles, kind of work them out to the middle here, and get them to escape out of this center area. So I think bubbling wise, we're looking pretty good. A couple bubbles here on the end, so let's bring those down through. So we just finished this side up right here, and I mean, man, that looks really good. I just took the squeegee and I manipulated it into the cracks here, anything extra. Use the heat gun to work it through if you need to, and then you can go ahead and close this. And I mean, now our interior console carbon fiber vinyl kit is complete, and I mean, overall, this has transformed the look. I'll put a snapshot of what it looked like before and after, and I mean, this is a huge difference. So overall, this was a great install. Relatively easy to do, just takes a little bit of time and patience. So if you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe, turn that notification bell on. If you know somebody with a Tesla that's looking to spice up their interior, definitely share this video and check out EVANX. I will link it here. Use the discount code ELONBUCKS. That'll save you $10 on your purchase of $100. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next video.